Welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to take a look at ADA and why I believe ADA could finally stop being a stablecoin and actually do something for once in a very, very long time. So if you want to, find out exactly what are the levels that you are going to want to pay attention to, make sure you stick around to the end of this video. Before I dive right into it, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter at _the art of crypto, you're going to want to do so. This is where not only I'm sharing gems as well as any traits that I might be looking at that I cannot otherwise share on YouTube because it does take quite a little bit of time to make a video. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you follow me on my Twitter. So immediately, Cardano ADA on the daily chart, right? This right here is a daily order block. And if you don't know what an order block is, I'm going to link a video on the top right hand corner. It teaches you what order blocks is and how I use it to snipe exact bottoms. For example, right here, you can see that the order block was indeed the bottom for ADA. I use this same exact method to snipe Bitcoin and Ethereum's bottom as well. If you guys follow me on this channel for a while, I called Ethereum and Bitcoin's bottom in advance, by 2 months or 3 months. So similar concept, video on the top right hand corner. But for now, ADA has touched into a daily order block. Not only that, but it is forming a consolidation pattern right into the order block. So basically, if you follow me for any amount of time, you know that I always like to say that the markets move in phases of expansions and consolidations, right? Right here, you have your consolidation, expand, right? Consolidate, you expand, right? Consolidate right here, expand, consolidate into a point of support, bam, expand. Just, you get the point, okay? So right now we are in a phase of consolidation. And it doesn't take a genius to find out what's going to happen next. So for ADA, right, the entries that you are going to want to concern yourself with is I'm going to mark down this level right here at about, I would say, give or take 1.28, right? As the price is breaking above 1.28, you can buy along with the breakout, or you can buy a retest of this trend line. So you're going to want to draw a trend line on, right now I'm drawing it on the daily chart. And let me just zoom in to the 4 hourly so that I can draw it clearer. So yeah, the trend line should be something like this, right? In this fashion, you get the most touches possible. And if you do get a breakout of this trend line, which should be at about 1.28, give or take, could be 1.273 as well. Now that I'm looking at the 4 hourly, let's, move it a little bit. So the first entry is going to be as you break above this trend line, right? Buy along with the breakout. That is going to be entry numero uno. And the second entry is going to be a breakout of this trend line. And then, you retest that trend line, right? This is going to be the safest entry possible. If you do get something like that, absolutely go for it. And the reason why I suggest both of these entries right off the bat, and don't worry, we will get into more reasons about how ADA is looking like against Bitcoin, against, on a higher time frame. For now, let's focus on the lower time frame because frankly speaking, that's what most of you are here for, right? Most of you are not very patient traders. And, if you aren't, I do highly recommend that, you learn to be a little bit patient with your trades. It will help you a lot and it will help you develop as a trader a lot as well. But, the reason why I would suggest both of these entries, something like that, is because you have a very logical place to set your stop loss. For example, if you're buying the breakout, right, you can set your stop loss right inside the pattern. Because it's not supposed to back into the pattern, right? A breakout is supposed to break out. If it breaks back down, then that's a fake out and you just get stopped out with minimal risk. Risk management is key in crypto, and not just in crypto, but just as long as you're a trader, right? Risk management is the one thing that's going to basically prevent you from getting absolutely wrecked. It's going to separate you from basically 90% of other people. So please, you got to be patient when you're trading, right? Everybody thinks oh, hey, this coin just did 500% in a day. So if I just bet my life savings onto that, what if I get, this coin that does a 2x, then I'm going to be rich, right? It doesn't work that way. That's what you call gambling. It's not trading. With trading, you go into the trade with a calculated amount of risk and a logical level for a reward, right? In this case, you plan it out using technical analysis. And to those of you who are gambling, seriously, if you haven't been messed up by this kind of a behavior, you will be sooner or later. So I suggest you go take some courses or watch some videos about risk management before something bad happens to you, right? Just coming from experience, you really do not want to be in that position. So you get stopped out for a minimal loss, and that's that. So that is going to be the two entries that I would recommend immediately for Cardano. But what if we start dumping from here? Because as you guys know, I follow the market makers way of trading. And if you guys want to learn more about, why the market makers make price move the way it does, and you want to figure out exactly why this little wick right here wicked just below the previous swing low right here, I've made a video that dives really in depth into how all of this works. So I'm going to just, put it on the top right hand corner as well, right? So after this video, you have an order block and you have, order flow and institutional market maker stop hunting stuff. I highly recommend you guys check those out. But for now, let's, understanding from our market maker's perspective, we have a lot of equal lows here, right? And some could even argue that equal lows over here have been taken out with this, with this wick right here, right? All of the longs have been stopped out. And so we are set for takeoff, which, to me, that's what it seems like. But, we are grand strategists on this channel and we like to prepare for both scenarios. So what if it starts dumping? Then what levels are we going to look at? In my personal opinion, after going through, my experience as a trader and, for those of you who follow me, how many bottoms I am able to snipe, right? I'll call the bottom weeks, months in advance and like, hey, that's the bottom, bam, on the money. In the event that Cardano ADA were to keep dropping, right, I would immediately look for this level right here, which is at about 1.14 to act as immediate support. That is where I'm going to put my first buy order for Cardano ADA. My second buy order is going to be at $1. Now, I know we have all these, basically everyone's going to tell you, hey, this level has held for very, very long and it will continue to hold like $1, but could be different this time around. But either way, I'm still going to be buying Cardano at this level if we get it, because if you believe in Cardano ADA as a long-term, project, I don't see why you wouldn't want to scoop up some ADA when it's this cheap. The lowest it can go, in my opinion, is going to be 80 cents. If it does break $1, it is going to wick slightly down below, just like that, right? Down below that level. So literally you could place a buy order like just anywhere in random in this block right here, and you're generally going to do quite well. But if you want the exact bottom, I'm going to predict that it's going to come at 80 cents. We might not get that though. So, just dollar cost average. For example, maybe I would mark down this level right there at 91 cents or 92 cents. And, if you had like $1,000 to play with, I'd go in with like 100, 200, and then 300 and 300, right? That's just how I would do it. So the levels that is going to be the bottom. And, before I say, bottom stuff and bottom that, I just need to clarify that this level right here at 1.14 to 1.09, that is an order block on the 4-hourly chart. And you could even argue that 1.14 has been filled already. So you can absolutely disregard 1.14 if you want. In me personally, I'm still going to be placing an order at 1.14, 1.09, 1.02, 0.915, and about 0.92, right, give or take, and about 0.81. If we get there, it's going to be, if it's not going to be the bottom, it's going to be very close to the bottom. So, and remember to set some limit orders, because you're not going to have any time to react, right? When these kinds of liquidation events happen, imagine how would you feel if you were sleeping and I was like, hey, I called these levels in advance, but you missed them because you were sleeping and some liquidation event happens. Again, not saying it's going to happen, but you just want to be prepared in case anything happens. And that's how I sort of urge all of you guys to think as a trader. You want to prepare a few steps ahead. You want to learn to be able to see what's coming next and prepare for it, adequately. And if that's something you're interested in, not only do I have, free videos, but you can absolutely check out the private group as well. This is where you're going to receive, all the formal education, as well as following along with my trades, as well as all the market updates that I am doing basically in real time. And days like this, you're going to know, hey, is this a good trade? Is this a good trade to be trading? Is this not a good day to be trading? Stuff like that. We're making money literally every single day. It's pretty much going to pay itself off pretty quickly. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you check out the link in the description below. But for now, let's get back into Cardano ADA. And now that we have understood where a possible bottom is going to come in for ADA, especially in the short term, then right now we are going to want to look at ADA against Bitcoin, because usually this is a very good gauge as to how the coin is performing, especially on a more longer term perspective. And in this case, you can see that pretty much we are, we are emulating what is happening on the USDT chart, which is we're filling in this order block right here and bam. So honestly, if I were to look at it from the daily chart, the weekly chart, I would say ADA is still very much intact. The only level which I would consider ADA to be bearish, right? That's two things, right? ADA is immediately bearish right now. Like, I don't care how how good you think ADA is, but for now, right, at least in the immediate, right now, ADA is bearish, but I mean bearish on the weekly chart, okay? Because you have just broken this previous swing low right here. And again, I will link a video on the top right hand corner, how to tell when a market is bullish or bearish. It will tell you everything you need to know. And basically, if I just draw a swing, swings like this, you can see that at the moment you have just gotten your first lower low, because right here, that's a major swing low. And this is happening on the weekly chart. So it's very significant. So at least on the weekly scale, it is bearish, okay? Because you've just broken lower high. And then now you have an order block, a bearish order block right here on about 4,700 Satoshis to about 5,200 Satoshis. So on the weekly chart, you're going to you're going to expect some kind of rejection at that level. And you can see that it lines up with the 0.618, 0.705, if I just draw a fib, and trust me, the market makers do this on purpose, right? The sooner you learn how to read this, the sooner you understand why bearish order blocks and bullish order blocks form at the 0.618 and the 0.705, the better off you're going to be, okay? But even though we might be bearish on a longer time frame, I do expect Cardano ADA to perform well over the next 2 to 3 months. Why do I think so? Remember what I said about markets moving in phases of consolidations and expansions. Usually, when you consolidate into a higher time frame point of support, which is this right here, you tend to bounce to fill in the next gap in liquidity, okay? Just to give you an example, and just so you're not confused about what I'm saying, I want you to look at it this way. On the weekly chart, can you agree that before this happened, this block here was basically empty? There was no price action there. And that is what you call an imbalance. Imbalances always tend to get filled sooner or later. It is just a matter of time. You could argue that this imbalance will be filled too. I am not banking on that happening. That is an imbalance that I don't think we are going to be filling unless we go into a full-on bear market. But for now, what you need to understand is at this point right now, the thing that you must be thinking to yourself is, where is the next closest point of liquidity, right? Where is the path of least resistance? At this moment, I'm sure a lot of people, especially retail, are going to be looking at ADA and be like, ADA is not doing anything. It is so boring. It is going to go back to zero. It is going to break below $1. Comment in the comment section if that is you. And while you're commenting, drop a like on this video if this has been helpful to you, because I do share a lot of tidbits of information that, comes extra, right? And if that's something you appreciate, drop a like on the video so that I know this is something you appreciate. So what was I saying? Right, yeah. So ADA, it's going to zero, you're losing interest. So people are going to start building shorts. It's very funny how retail works. The lower the price of something goes, they short it because they're scared, they're fearful. So much red, it's going to go back to zero. But then when it's going up, they buy. Like, it's very, very weird. It's very fun. Like, it's just weird. It's just odd when you see it happening. And if that's you, I urge you to, perhaps change your mindset a little bit. So at the moment, we can agree that, if most people are going to be shorting, I'm just giving you an example, right? The easiest point of liquidity is going to be up here, all of this right here, for a, in retail sense or a traditional sense, this would be a short squeeze, right? And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. And I'm just putting it very simply right here, because I do believe that this gap in liquidity is going to get filled, right? This right now, the next point of imbalance is right here, right? Basically over here, right? There is no price action whatsoever. And so it is, and again, this doesn't just apply to, but over here, there's no price action as well. These are strong moves. These are straight down moves, okay? And whenever that happens, you get a imbalance in, the order books, right? Too many sellers, the buyers do not have time to do whatever they want to do. Or maybe the sellers, there are not enough sellers. So who are these sellers? They are the market makers, and they will eventually, reprice the asset higher so that they can either build their positions, right? If they are macro term bearish, that is where they are going to have another chance to build their positions. And secondly, they can offload their longs because, again, it's a lot to get into. Basically, just understand that the market makers move the markets. They manipulate the markets. Markets move because of their whim, because of algorithms whim. I know it's a lot to stomach, but the sooner you realize that, the sooner you learn how to read what they're doing, the better it is that it's going to be for you. And not trying to show this, but if you just want something more formal, something a little bit more professional, check out a private Discord group. But otherwise, I do make quite a lot of free videos for you guys. So assuming, I'm not assuming, but this is just what I see, right? If it goes even lower, I don't really care until you break like 1,870 Satoshis, which in USDT terms would be about a 40% drop ish. Yeah, about 30 to 40%. So in USDT terms, that's going to be at about 0.8, right? Which is the level that I gave you just now. Until we really break this swing low right here, I'm not particularly concerned. Like right now, we are short-term bearish. We are long-term bearish, which means we are short-term bearish. So short-term bullish, I'm so sorry. So what I'm expecting to happen is for ADA to pump, right? And you might think, if it's long-term bearish, why are you still getting involved? Because there is still money to be made here, right? That's an 80% pump from this point to this order block right here. And do I think that order block is going to be filled? Absolutely. If you just take a look at this pattern right here, this is classic Wyckoff distribution. Like, you have your first 2-3 peaks, you get a break of structure over here, and then next up, you're going to come up to fill a bearish order block for these market makers to fill all of their positions, and bam, okay? That is how Wyckoff works. You can take a look at Bitcoin. You can go look at the Wyckoff schematic. Pretty similar. Okay. In fact, with Bitcoin, right? And again, I saw this coming like back then, even back then, I was like, hey, if we come back up here, right here, this order block right here, we're going to get rejected. Indeed, we did. Okay. But as you know, historically, as you already know, Bitcoin did go and form a new all-time high. So does that mean that ADA is, going to do the same thing? I don't know. All I can tell you is expect a rejection over here. So if you were looking to short 4,700 Satoshis, which let me draw it out for you guys, right? About 4,600 Satoshis, right? That's going to be the area for you to short. And if you're going long right now, would be an absolutely amazing time to be going long, because you are in a bullish order block on the daily. But I've given you the levels that you have to pay attention to on ADA USD so that you understand if, coming Monday, it is going to start dumping, then you know exactly what you need to do, which is to set those limit orders. I hope this video has not been confusing, right? I know it's a lot to take in, and this is just the kind of thing that I talk about, and the kind of thing that my viewers come to expect of this channel. So if you've watched until this point in the video so far and you want to just support me a little, comment down the word ADA in the comment section below. It helps the YouTube algorithm a lot. It's a small gesture, but it helps a lot. So basically, midterm bullish rejection there, and if you form a high low, then you're going to form a new all-time high for Cardano. But if not, then you're just going to continue the bearish trend. Either way, I've basically just taught you the plan for the next 6 months basically for ADA. So I really hope this video has been helpful to you. If you want to check out a trading strategy where I teach you how to make about 50 to 100% every month, swing trading using very simple set of rules, and yes, it is not clickbait. Can actually do that, right? It's crypto, it's not stocks. If it's stocks, then yeah, it's probably a scam, but it's crypto. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out the video that I'm going to link on the top right hand corner. For now though, may the gains be with you, my friend, and peace.